Always got to make sure that this thing is on. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping by, for coming on in, for paying a visit. So I walked in from work today and I saw on Twitter that apparently Queen has unearthed and released a new song. So I said, well, gotta listen to it. We have to give it a listen. Gotta give it a run. So I pulled up some information on here about the song. It's called Face It Alone. Now, it's from their recording sessions for 1989's The Miracle, which is one of their albums. I believe their 13th album, if I looked it up correctly, which I looked it up a long time ago and I don't remember it now. So, but I want to say that it's definitely one of their later albums. I believe their second to last album before Mercury had passed away. Brian May, he said that it was kind of hiding in plain sight. We looked at it many times and thought, oh no, we can't really rescue that. But in fact, we went in there again and our wonderful engineering team went, okay, we can do this and this. It's kind of like stitching bits together, but it's beautiful, it's touching. So I'm excited to get into it. Like I said, this is a new song from them, and I believe the last new song that was released from them, don't quote me on this because I can't find the information now. I want to say the last new song we heard from them was maybe about 8 years ago. And by we heard, I mean you guys heard, I haven't heard it. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's let it run. This is Queen, Face It Alone. Nice pop immediately.
When something so near and dear to life explodes in sight, you feel your soul is set on fire. When something so deep and so far and wide falls down beside, your cries can be heard so loud and clear. Your life is your own. You're in charge of yourself, master of your home. In the end, you have to face it all. So dear to your life explodes in sight, you feel your soul is burned alive, burned alive. When something so deep and so far and wide falls down beside, you cry can be heard so loud and clear. Your life is your own. You're in charge of yourself, master of your home. In the end, you have to face it all. Its glow, where the moon has lost its glow. to face it all alone.
That's a track that's, I don't know what kind of engineering they did to it, but that definitely sounds very worthy of release. That's a gem. That's mining in the mines of Khazul Doom, and you got some mithril up there. That's great. Obviously, very, very obviously, Freddie sounds absolutely amazing. Subtle, dramatic, sweet, very effective in the emotional range. Obviously, right? Like I said, we've all heard him. We know how he sounds. We know what he can do. But this is nothing to smirk at. This is no less greater than anything we've heard before. Really, I'm stuttering. Really wonderful range that he showcases brilliantly here without necessarily overstepping into an over dramatization. No, it's played very, very well, very hearty. I like the lullaby-like guitar playing that's going on throughout the whole track. It just kind of adds this mysterious melancholy that kind of weaves in and out throughout everything. You hear the bass kind of pop in a little bit more so in the ending of the chorus, which I like the little bit of runs and fills it does there. And then the drumming is nice, palpable, powerful, does its thing. Nothing more, nothing less, gets in, gets out. So I think that this is a really nice track for them to have found and done whatever work they did in it. I did notice in those beginning pops from the drums that the drums were a little bit like off mixed. You know, they'd kind of come in really hard and then kind of quickly fade, like if you play it. Kind of sounds a little awkward, so yeah, like they have a really big attack and then it immediately drains out. So that's probably part of what they had to work on a little bit to get it to where it is then. And even now, you know, it's still a little bit off mix. But regardless, it sounds great. Once again, from what they unearthed. And even the lyrics here are pretty good. When something so near and dear to life explodes inside you, feel your soul is set on fire. When something so deep and so far and wide falls down beside your cries can be heard so loud and clear. Your life is your own, you're in charge of yourself. Master of your home, in the end, you have to face it all alone. So I mean, let me look at the album, The Miracle, since it was recording during these sessions, and maybe we can get some context as to the state of the band, the state of the band's minds and where everyone was at with this. Let me just get into Wikipedia here. So The Miracle is their 13th studio album, which was released in 1989. It says that the album was recorded as the band recovered from Brian May's marital problems and Freddie Mercury's HIV diagnosis in 1987, which was known to the band, though not publicized alone. That kind of adds a little bit more of a spin into the lyrics. Let's go back to them, finish off where we left. When something so dear to your life explodes inside you, feel your soul is burned alive. When something so deep and so far and wide falls down beside your cries can be heard, your life is your own, you're in charge of yourself, master of your own home. In the end, you have to face it all alone. Perhaps, did it say that Freddie wrote this song, by the way? I don't think I saw that here on the facts. Let's just assume that Freddie himself wrote it, but it could have been May, it could have been anyone else. But even going along with that, when it comes to all the problems and issues you may face in life, when it comes to the situations you may run across, at times, and sometimes in the very end of it all, when it all boils down to it, you have to face it alone. Inside, in a personal way, no matter what the issue may be, grand or not, at the end, in some capacity, you're going to have to face it alone. You may have people with you to support you and such, but it all comes down to you and yourself within. And I think that's what we're really getting down to here in the lyrics. And then the outro, when the moon has lost its glow, when the moon has lost its glow, when the moon has lost its glow, you have to face it all alone. When the moon is no longer that source of light to you. Even the dimmest light in the darkest nights, even when that begins to wane, you have to face it all alone. So, good lyrics, very inspirational. Like I said, this is a nice unearthing from Queen, from the band. Good job to the engineers for the work that they put into it as well. And good solo. I forgot to mention that. Nice emotional solo in there as well, just to send us off. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of it. You can let me know down in the comments below. Of course, you're more than welcome to follow me on Twitter, support the channel on Patreon. I hope that you enjoyed your time here. Thank you as always for stopping on by. And I'll see you all later. Bye.